Affiliates. This recording is a production of Master Key Society for the purpose of research, study, and discussion. Preface. The Initiates of the Flame was my first literary effort, and it is indeed gratifying that through the years it has been out of print, a demand sufficient to justify its republication should have persisted. It is therefore again presented to the public, entirely re-illustrated, and with considerable editorial revision. 12 years have passed since the first publication of this little work on mystical symbolism. During this interim, I have considerably extended the scope of my researches into the subject matter of which the work treats. However, in reviewing the book today, I do not feel moved to make any change in the basic viewpoints set forth. The Initiates of the Flame is a little essay on the mystery of fire. To all ancient peoples, fire was a symbol of the Divine One dwelling in the innermost parts of all things. Robert Fludd, a Rosicrucian mystic, writing in the 17th century, declared that the fire of the philosophers was divided into 3 parts. First, a visible fire, which is the source of physical light and heat. Second, an invisible or astral fire, which enlightens and warms the soul. Third, a spiritual or divine fire, which in the universe is known as God and in man as spirit. The initiates who took their oaths in the presence of the flame renounced the lesser concerns of ordinary life, and, freed from the attachments of this material sphere, these purified souls became custodians of that symbolic flame of wisdom which is the true light of the world. This light is a manifestation of the one universal life, that active agent whose impulses are the cause of all sidereal phenomena. Where in antiquity this flame of light, this spirit fire, was the object of a universal adoration, and was worshipped as the very presence of God himself, it now lies buried beneath the ruins of man's fallen temple. Obscured by the paramount interests of the flesh, it emits but the faintest gleam in this non-philosophic age. Manly Hall. The Initiates of the Flame. Introduction. Few realize that at the present stage of civilization, there are illumined souls who walk the earth, like the priests of the ancient temples, watching and guarding the sacred fires that burn upon the altar of humanity. They are the purified ones, who have renounced the life of this sphere in order to guard and protect the flame, that spiritual principle in man now hidden beneath the ruins of his fallen temple. The mysteries of antiquity have seemingly perished. The faith, however, of the Golden Age, the first religion of man, can never wholly die. As we think of the nations that are gone, of Greece and Rome, and the grandeur that was Egypt's, we sigh as we recall the story of their fall, and we watch the nations of today, wondering which will be the next to draw its shroud about itself and join that great ghostly file of peoples that are dead. But everywhere, even in the rise and fall of nations, we see through the haze of materiality the figure of justice. Everywhere we see the principle of fulfillment. The altar of the everlasting one is lifted up in the midst of the world. A great hand reaches out from the unseen and regulates the affairs of man. It reaches out from that great spiritual flame which nourishes all created things, the never-dying fire that burns on the sacred altar of cosmos, that great fire which is the Spirit of God. If we turn again to the races now dead, we shall discover the cause of their destruction. The light had gone out. When the flame within the body is withdrawn, the body dies. When the light was taken from the altar, the temple no longer was the dwelling place of a living God. Degeneracy, lust and greed, hates and fears crept into the souls of ancient Greece and Rome, and black magic overshadowed Egypt. The light upon the altar grew weaker and weaker. The priests lost the word, the name of the flame. Little by little the flame flickered out, and as the last spark grew cold, a once mighty nation was extinguished, buried beneath the dead ashes of its own spiritual fire. But the flame did not die. Like spirit, of which it is the essence, it cannot die, because it is life, and life cannot cease to be. In some wilderness of land or sea it rested once more, and there again arose a mighty nation around that flame. So history goes on down through the ages. As long as people are true to the flame, it remains. But when they cease to nourish it with their lives, it passes on to other lands and other worlds. The worshippers of this flame are now called heathens. Little do we realize that we ourselves are heathens until we are baptized of the Holy Spirit, which is fire. For fire is light, and the children of the flame are sons of light, even as God is light. There are those who for ages have labored with man to help him kindle within himself this spark, which is his divine birthright. These are the ones who by their lives of self-sacrifice and service have awakened and tended this fire, who through ages of study have learned the mystery it contains, and whom we now call the Initiates of the Flame. For ages they have labored with mankind to help him uncover the light within himself, and on the pages of history they have left their seal, the seal of fire. Unhonored and unsung, they have labored with humanity, and now the stories of their lives are used as fairy tales to amuse children. The time will come, however, when the world will know the work they did and realize that our present civilization is raised upon the shoulders of the mighty demigods of the past. Like Faust, we stand, with all our lore, fools no wiser than before, because we reject the truths they taught and the evidence of their experiences. Let us honor these sons of the flame, not by words, but by living, so that their sacrifice shall not be in vain. They have shown us the way. They have led man to the gateway of the unknown, and then, in their robes of glory, passed behind the veil. Their lives were the keys to their wisdom, as they must ever be. Though long ago they passed beyond, they still live in history, beacons on the path of human progress. Let us watch these mighty ones as silently they pass by. First, Orpheus, playing upon the seven-stringed lyre of his own being, the music of the spheres. Then Hermes, the thrice greatest, with his emerald tablet of divine revelation. Through the shades of the past we dimly see Krishna, the illuminated, who on the battlefield of life taught man the mysteries of his own soul. Next we see the sublime Buddha, his yellow robe not half so glorious as the heart it covers. And our own dear master, the man Jesus, his head surrounded with a halo of golden flame and his brow serene with the calm of mastery. Then Mohammed, Zoroaster, Confucius, Odin, Moses, and others no less worthy pass before the inner eye of the student. They were the sons of the flame. From the flame they came, and to the flame they have returned. To us they beckon, bidding us join them in the service of the flame they love. They were without creed or clan. They served but the one great ideal. From a common source they came, to a common place they have returned. No superiority was theirs, but hand in hand they labored for humanity. Each loves the other, for the power that has made them masters has also shown them the brotherhood of all life. In the pages that follow, we shall try to show this great thread, the spiritual thread of living fire that winds in and out through all religions,